to the temple. Keep her protected. Make sure that the black man was able to go out and work and take care of his woman. He didn't want her to have to deal with that white man. Because that white man had already crushed the black man, and by crushing the black man, no one was there to protect you, so you end up getting spoiled under his way of civilization.
That's right.
Master Fard Muhammad said to the believers before he left, he said, one day you're going to get to the point where you're going to entertain the devil right in your living room. And they couldn't believe that here's God who taught us about the devil telling us we're going to let him in our living room. Come on now. 7 years after he was gone, television was invented. And in that television is the devil coming right into your living room, your bedroom, your kitchen, is that right? Your basement, your bathroom, because some of us got TVs everywhere, is that right? And when you watch that television, what are you seeing? You're seeing him giving you his vision of how things should go. That's right. So now what's happening? He done spruced it up. Yes, sir. He done gave you Facebook, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he started out with MySpace and all that, and now you got Twitter, you got Facebook. Now it's everybody's looking in their phone everywhere they go. But what is the phone giving back to you? See, it's outside of the radiation, yes. It's giving you a vision of what they want. Now, Facebook, that's a damnable thing. Facebook bring out so much of our vanity. Why I gotta know if you in the hospital, you up with tubes? I gotta see a click, click. This is my current situation. What the hell? Really? I need to know that? I thought that was for personal family, but no. Why if you have an argument with your girl, you gotta be on Facebook talking about it in cryptic language? You know, some people need to know how to respect other people's business. You know, what the hell is that? See, that's the devil bringing out the vanity in all of us. You want somebody to talk to. You want to see how many people like what you say. And then you get drunk with it. Oh, I ain't giving that many likes on that. Let me put something else up. Oh, okay, they all like that. See how many? Well, I got a lot of likes. These ain't your followers. They don't care about you. They just liked what you said. If you gotta pay your rent, they ain't gonna give you no money. Put it up on Facebook. Look, I'm $1,900 short of my rent. Can somebody help a brother out? See how many likes you get on that? And a like is not money. Is that right? But this is the enemy manipulating and at the same time snooping into our business. That's right. Yeah. So I want to close on this. I want to read some words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. All right, praise be to Allah. And you know, this is dealing with in our book called Closing the Gap, which are interviews of Minister Louis Farrakhan, you know, interviews of the heart, mind, and soul of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Brother Jabril, who's a beautiful brother with a lot of insight, is asking the minister, you got glasses and you can't find them, is asking the minister about the woman of the millennium. And so, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, Allah God did not want her entangled in Satan's way. Because the more she is entangled in such way, the more difficult it would be for Allah God to bring forth out of her a new civilization. Right. It is written of Mary in the Holy Quran that the angels argued over who would take charge of the life of Mary. If you look at Mary, she was put in a place where she could not be contaminated with the wickedness of the world. See, this is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is doing with the black woman. The MGT GCC training class is putting the black woman in a place where she cannot be contaminated by the wickedness of this world. It doesn't mean you're not going to still be socializing and be in a social environment, but coming under a certain training. where you're submitting your will to God in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan out of direction and guidance, because we need guidance. And under that training and that guidance, then our dress code changes. Our mannerism changes. Is that right? And even though it's different than the way of this world, it becomes a challenge to us because a majority of the population, 85% of the population, ain't trying to dress like an MGT.
That's right.
85% of the population ain't trying to keep their head covered and wear 3/4. And now, mind you, don't get me wrong, we have women that are out there that are keeping their head covered. They're dressing modestly. They're trying to stick to the way of God. They're part of that small 5%. But 85% of the women in the population ain't trying to do that. And when you got those kind of odds against you, that atmosphere is pressure on the black woman that's trying to stick to God's way. But that's the uphill road for the black woman, where Allah asks us in Surah 90 of the Holy Quran, and what will make them realize what the uphill road is? It is to free a slave, to feed an orphan. Is that right? Right. So the uphill road, when it comes down to the woman of God, is striving to stay civilized in a world that is savage as hell. Come on. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad know that you are the mother of civilization. That there is no civilization for us if the black woman is not on point with God and herself. Because you teach our children, you raise our babies, and you give comfort and consolement to that black man that's out there trying to make a way for you and the family. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this. He said, I don't like no black man that wants to spend his woman's money. Because it's our duty and responsibility to maintain the household and maintain our family. Now, if it's out of necessity, you need your woman to be working, you need her to be able to help with some of the things because they make it hard for you to make the type of money you should make to take care of your family. But if you know that you got it, if you know that 30% of your salary can take care of rent, food, light bills, then why the hell you going ahead and trying to get your woman to give you half? See, that's being niggardly. That's being tight. You see, because you got 70% more money that you can still do what you need to do with it.
Yes,
see, now,
yes, sir.
I know I done stepped on some toes with that, but let me say this. This damn iceberg slim mentality that we grew up with in the hood is not going to work with righteousness. You can't be pimping and be righteous.
No way. That's right.
But if you're a brother that's striving to do right, and you struggling, and your woman know you struggling and know that part of the struggle is because the way society is diametrically opposed to you getting up to where you need to get, then she is being trained on how to console you. Right. I know I done got into relationships. But comfort and consolement, you would have to ask yourself, sister, do I know how to console a man? Do I know how to comfort a man? I ain't talking about no prostitution. I'm talking about comfort and consolement. That when you dealing, especially when you dealing with a brother that got knowledge of the enemy, knowledge of the situations that's going on in the community, and dealing with cantankerous bosses and people that are straight up devil, that they know in their own right mind, I will kill this cracker. But if I do that, I can't get my paycheck to take care of my wife and family. Well, after being out all day like that and coming home, you know he want to hurt something. He ain't ready to smile about a damn thing. It's been a long day. Well, how do you read that computer? And what kind of comfort and consolement do you give to that? And then vice versa on our side, brother. How do we read the computer of our woman? You see, I mean, which all the television, everything is fashioned after the brain of the original people. How do you read that? When you look at your woman and she's not acting like herself, not dressing the way that she used to dress, not cooking the way that she used to cook, not keeping the house the way she used to keep the house, you know something's wrong. How do you read it and deal with it? to give her the counsel and the consolement that she needs to get back into the kind of spirit that keeps this relationship going the way God wants it to go. It's a work in progress, is that right? And if we don't work at it and don't try to work at it, then how the hell are we going to deal with the black community? The reason why the devil isn't settled on the best part of the planet Earth, which is our brain, is because that devil, he's wicked. The brain belongs to the original black man, is that right? And knowing that that devil was wicked, we put him out in the worst part. We ain't keep him on the best part. Well, where's the worst part of the planet on the anatomy of the original man? It's your lower nature of self. That if you're not using your lower nature of self in the way of God, then you're using that 6 and the number 6 and sex in the way of the made man. Even though the number 6 is the number of man and beast. But if you're not using it from an elevated level, then you're using it like a beast. Y'all all right? So the protection and honor of our women has to be in the type of way where we understand what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is doing is based out of what God had in mind from the beginning of this 25,000 year cycle. That our women are the mothers of civilization. If we're not willing to protect them like we would protect our mother, then we're not going to look at our daughter properly, we're not going to look at our aunts properly, and we're not going to look at other little black women or children and other black women properly, and then we won't look at women in general properly. It has to be of the utmost respect, but at the same time, sister, the knowledge is needed and the way of God is needed for you and yourself. And I know down in the soul of each black woman, they want to be right with themselves and with God, but the support team is not there.
That's right. Come on.
That's why God raised up Muhammad Mosque.
Come on.
That's why there used to be temples all over the place, because this is where your support is for God. Now, I'm not saying that to say all y'all have to join the mosque, even though this is the place where you need to be. But what I'm saying is, the black community has been devastatingly dismantled.
That's right, brother.
There is no more black community.
That's right.
So the purpose of this subject matter is the fact that we have some work to do. And it starts with us and how we respect God, and then how we respect ourselves and each other, because together we build family, and from family we can build our community, and from our community we can reestablish the nation that is in the way that it needs to be. And this is the time for a new nation to come into play, and that's why the Nation of Islam at this time among black people is the only game in town. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for giving me your time and your patience as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praises are due to Allah.